Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft Amplified server. You know exactly what I'm going to say. You know it, you do. This thing right here has taken me an extraordinary amount of time. I have successfully done one half of the farm. We've got the sheep in over there, and boy oh boy did that take a fair amount of time. But do you know what? I've absolutely enjoyed it. I decided, hey, we're going to do this in between recording to make it nice and easy. So I've been doing that while I'll be doing other things, and I kind of figured out the best way, or at least an efficient way, of getting all of the sheep in there. And we're going to go over that in this episode. And boy oh boy did I not expect this to take so long. You know, last episode we got caught up in breeding these guys, which was a little bit crazy, but it's done now, and I'm confident that we'll have this farm up and running by the end of the episode. But as I said, we've done one half of this farm, and if we use our little cheaty zoom, you might be able to see them all over there, and you're wondering what's going on. Yep, that's right, there is a load of sheep caught up the top here. You can see the pink one was actually the last that I did, so all of them haven't made their way to the top just yet. But that's right, they're all grouped up there, and isn't that one heck of a derpy little sight right there? They look so bizarre, and I'll explain why that happened in a moment. In fact, we're going to go up there and activate the farm in a second. But first of all, I would just like to say, if you want to leave a like on this video, it'll always be appreciated. Just want to mention that from time to time. I know you've heard it over and over again, but likes do make a difference, and for us YouTubers, it's important because it lets you know that your channel's doing good and things are healthy. So feel free to do that, show some support, it will be appreciated, believe me. And let's go over here and get this thing going. So you're going to see like the whole process of how I did this. It involves taking pictures of the sheep and then counting them. And the reason I take a picture is so they don't move around. Then we kind of breed them up, move them into this area, and then one by one move them through this little entrance over here, which involves putting down a load of walls and slabs and fences to make it nice and easy for the sheep to get in there. And also what we have to do is block them up at the top, because when we create an entrance down the bottom here, any sheep falling down will land on the dispenser and possibly die, which is not something that we want. So in order to block off this top area, I figured the best way to do it would be to push a piston down, because if you placed a block right there, you would need to break a block around it to then unbreak it, if that makes sense. Unbreak it, what am I doing? You know what I mean. So let's say that this was the only block here, the piston wasn't here. When we broke that, there'd be a gap, and it wouldn't surprise me if we would accidentally create a sheep cannon. They go flying out up into the sky everywhere. So to be extra safe, we put this right here. Now this next bit could be a little bit disastrous. Fingers crossed that it won't. But when I release this, they're all going to get shot down to the bottom. There is water down there, and they should be safe, but I have no idea really what's going to happen. It's a moment of truth. Fingers crossed. Are you wishing for a good result? I hope you are, because there's no turning back now. There we go, let's hit it. And they all fall down, and that looked really bizarre. And now they all shoot out down the bottom. Oh, this is looking crazy. This is looking crazy. But they all seem to be fine. I think they're loving it in there. And they're a bit crammed up at the moment. And already, look how many are making their way onto the second layer. There is 56 of these guys, and I think even when they're all spread out evenly, they are going to be quite a lot in there. And I think this farm is going to work really well. And that's great, because that went off without a hitch. And you know what I'm thinking now? We need to see this from a different angle. So I think it'd be a good idea to bring the camera account on. Alright, here I am. Hello, top left. Yeah, we're gonna activate these one by one. And we're gonna do this with the camera account so we can see how derpy and awesome it looks. And look at this, you can see the sheep rotating around. That is really great to see. Although I do feel like 56 is probably overdoing it. But they should even themselves out over time, although if they fall down at this rate constantly, then that's just fine, because that means tons and tons of wool, right? But while we're doing this, one other thing I want to mention is just where the videos have been lately. You may notice that my output has been possibly a little bit inconsistent. That looks ridiculous, by the way. And this is because I've been working on some really big projects. One of them being the live stream, the other one being Gamemode 4. There's a few other things in the works as well. And my time has sort of been taken away from the videos, and I'm hoping now that things will go back to normal like they were before. And the last episode of Hermitcraft, I think we went like 6 or 5 days without an episode from doing them every other day. So that isn't my plan, but we have now started up Gamemode 4. If you haven't seen that yet, be sure to go and check it out. There'll be a link for you in the description box. I got a feeling that series is going to be an immense amount of fun. I can't wait to get going. In fact, as I'm playing on here right now, my plan is to also play on Gamemode 4, do a little bit of playing on both servers, you know, while we're waiting for the sheep to grow on this one after breeding them, we can be on the other one getting things done. So yeah, be sure to check that out, and this is just awesome, isn't it? Let's do the very last one now. Down go the black sheep, and this is our farm in action. So, a moment from now, once they've all sort of made their way around a fair bit, we should just see sheep constantly dropping down. And another thought just crossed my mind. Do you know what? It wasn't terribly laggy while I was up here, but loads of sheep were in the water, and there'll be lots of sheep moving through water while this farm is being used. However, we had all of them up in the water a moment ago, so I think that's absolutely going to be fine. All I need to do now is remove these pistons, and then... Oh, did I just hear the piston activate? No, I don't know what that was. But yes, we're going to remove these, and then we're going to watch the farm in action. Right, it's looking like we've got some good rotation going on here. Let's hop down below. Ouch, my shins. Oh, there they go again. And, yeah, that looks pretty spectacular, doesn't it? Sheep falling down all over the place. I love it. This is so awesome. Oh, man, this really is going to be just a fantastic farm. Believe me when I say that. So now that this side is done, it means we can focus on the other side. And because we've, you know, cleared out a large amount of space by putting the sheep in the farm, it means we don't need this little platform over there. We can kind of use the space that we've cleared up to get the sheep ready to go. So we can actually start doing this like right now. Let's just check that all of our exits have been patched up like that. And I don't know what order I'm going to do these in. I'll probably try and color code them a little bit. But all of these right here are to go on this side. Okay, so here's another spot right there. And that bit over there is done. And there's no gap on this side. Okay, that's good to see. So let's do a little count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 colors on that side, 8 colors on this side. Everything is going good. I think we're probably going to start off with... Let's see, what would make sense? Let's start off with these guys right here. No, actually, we need a little bit of space sort of near the entrance, so... I don't know what one to start with. Okay, I'm very glad that I didn't rush into that, because I could have broken the fence on this side. We kind of need this area. This area is kind of important for getting them up and in there. So we are actually going to, first of all, put down some fences like this, and just make this area that they have a little bit bigger, and then we'll break it open. So we're going to be luring them into that area, but we want to do this so that we can actually take a screenshot. So let's just do all... Oh, that's the wrong one, that's the wrong one. Oh my god, emergency. What do I do? What do I do? I actually don't know. Can they get through that gap? I can't remember, and now I'm very worried. We do not want these to mix. Well, that was lucky. Crisis averted. I managed to put the fence post down eventually. Oh, that could have gone quite bad. We do not want them mixed. But anyway, what we can do now is make a little pillar going up into the sky. And then what we want to do when we're up here is take a screenshot. So I'm going to show you how this works. Let's just look down. We have all of them in our view. And we also want to check the corners and see that there aren't loads of them grouped up into a corner, which they sometimes do. So I'm going to take a screenshot. And now what we're going to do is open it up in Photoshop. So you can see here that what I've done is I've marked each of the sheep. I put a little marker on them as I'm counting them so I don't double count them. And then that means that we can come back to the game and we can breed them up. So I need to do that because I just explained it while recording. So let me go and yeah, do that, count all the sheep, and then we'll know how many we need to breed. Okay, we need 2 sheep. No, yes, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because we have 54 sheep in here, so too short of putting them straight in there, which means we've got to breed them, then give the time for the babies to grow into adults before we put them in the farm, because otherwise they'll be able to escape. But what we'll be doing next is just setting up this area right here, so we can actually do that together right now. They don't need to be fully bred, so we're going to remove a few around here. Actually, what I need to do is open up something. There we go. I made an image of how I wanted all the walls to go across. So we're going to have green, lime, then light blue. We're doing light blue, so it's this one right here. Awesome. So I got it right. Just wanted to double check though. So we put them down like that. It's going to be interesting doing this in such a small and contained area. And then like that, I do believe. Yep, that looks good. And I've done this so many times now, it's getting easier each time. And we put a slab there. We then break these. I also need to go up the top and place down a piston. I must not remember, not forget to do that. Oh dear, because otherwise it would be quite disastrous. So we're going to bring out the walls like this, and obviously we're going to be luring the sheep in and pushing them in and all of that. But this is the little setup that I built to do it, just so there's no way for them to escape. Want to make this extra secure. So far that's good. And then on this side over here, you want to do it slightly differently. You want to actually have your fence come into this bit right here. The reason why is because otherwise the sheep can kind of get caught on the ledge. And actually, I think they might be able to do that because I'm putting this in the wrong place. Yes. Okay, actually what we need to do is pillar this bit up with some cobble. It'll all make sense in a second, don't worry. And we put it on top of this slab right here, like that. And above this one as well. And there. And then we connect it up. So now what we're going to do is break the thing around here when the babies have grown up. We might as well just do it like that. And then we hold down the wheat and they're all going to come up here and push each other up. And that's why we put the fence here, so they don't ever catch on anything. If they're trying to come towards the wheat, then they're going to go like this. Now if this was a cobblestone wall right here, sorry, not a cobblestone wall, but a cobblestone block, then the sheep would catch on it, if that makes sense. So that's why we put the fences like that. So anyway, I have not forgotten. I'm going to go put the piston up the top, but in a moment, or in 20 minutes of me playing Game Mode 4, when I come back to this, that sheep would have grown up, and then we can bring it inside the pen. Well, this is noisy in here, and I've just been going around. They should have grown. There was a baby here a second ago. I gave him some wheat to help him grow up quicker. It was just the one, and then I think he turned into an adult. Which makes sense because I did time it. So I think we're safe. I've walked around this a couple of times. You really don't want a baby going in there. However, it will probably just sort of wander off and get caught outside, and then we could grab it with a lead. So maybe it's not that disastrous. But this is what we do next. And actually this bit right here is kind of off. But I don't think we can avoid that because they will sort of get caught on here. But we'll be pulling them in from this side, so it shouldn't be an issue at all. Let's grab the wheat. Let's do this. Let's also try and get some of the guys from the back and do this in one big push. So we're bringing them around here, and what you want to do, if you happen to be doing this yourself, is bring a really big group through here because they'll be able to push through you. So when you're dealing with less sheep and they're not all trying to head towards you, then you can sort of nudge the sheep along and they won't go through your hitbox, but when you've got loads of them, they'll actually go through. So this kind of helps you in the beginning. So I think that's about the best we're going to do. I'm trying to not lose too many of them because of the range, but this is how we do it. And now what we want to do is stand here on top of the dispenser for a moment, and you'll see that the sheep are actually getting pushed through us, which is the behaviour that I just described. Now this also means that the sheep down there are trying to go to the wheat as well. So after a certain amount of time, it becomes viable to not actually hold this in your hand. Why are you all looking up there? Are you looking at the sun? What's going on over there? I'm not sure. They should be looking at the wheat. And I think that's about the best we're going to do. So now we're going to back off, go down here and hold down shift, and then slowly move in this direction, and we'll find that some of the sheep will probably get pushed through us, but we'll keep nudging them towards the top there and into the water. And this has got to be one of the most successful attempts, and yes, this is what it looks like. You're staring at the insides of a sheep, which is really strange. And it's hard to nudge them in at first because you've got loads of them in the bottom area and they haven't all gone up the ladder yet. So some of them actually come back out of the water as well, which is why once I've done a little push like this, what I tend to do is stand here for a while. If I don't, this guy will probably get pushed back out again. But at the moment, it sort of looks okay. He's moving forward at least a little bit. I think we can do some more here. So let's go and just continue pushing these guys. Oh, that could have been close. I noticed that I forgot to do the piston. I think I was literally going to go do that and then I got distracted. So I've put a block here. We can actually leave it there temporarily. That won't be a problem at all. So yeah, I went and I got the ladders from the other side and then I managed to distract myself somehow. So what we need to do is just make a little ladder over here going all the way up to the top. And I'll put the ladder on in a moment, and we need to put the piston down, which is pretty simple. You do have to break a block, which could be an issue. I don't think it will be because the sheep are 1.5 high. Anyway, we're dealing with the third one in, right? This one right here. So what we need to do is put a block there and a piston facing downwards, which means we break this block, but I don't think they're going to be able to escape. So let's put this down and a lever. And how close are they? I don't think we've got any coming up to the top here. Let's also replace this block. That is now secure, and we did it just in time. Look at that. The first sheep are coming up to the top, and we took care of it. Awesome. So now we can just fall down here, break our shins, and break this block as well. and continue. As you can see though, we did a really good job. When I was first doing this, it took me ages to get them all in there, and already we've got well and truly over half of the sheep. So just going to repeat the process now. Grab loads of these guys, get them to follow the wheat. Got to watch out for the guys who get caught in the corner of the fences as well. You need to give them a little nudge. But a few more attempts at this. Oh, apparently that wasn't good enough for this guy. Come on. There you go. You're free now. I think they just pushed him back in again. They did. We'll get you next time. This probably won't be the last time we do this, but now we're going to take them in there, and as we do this, we might see that they come back down again. Actually, it looks like all of the sheep have made their way out of the first level. So now we can stand here, and this is pretty much it. You've seen how it's done. Alright, this is the last one. We're done. But you know what? I recorded that whole thing. Be interesting to see how long that actually took, because the last time I did this, I think the first time it took me like a good half hour, 40 minutes to get them all in there. And obviously the technique just gets better and better each time. And also, one of the things I should have done is thrown down some torches on here. If it had turned to night and I was a little bit further away, some mobs could have been able to spawn in it, which has actually happened before. I remember I walked over to a pen and there were like 3 creepers in there, so they must have packed spawn. But there you go, that's the first bunch. And now what we're going to do is start preparing some of the next ones. So we've got a load of space and we need to breed them. So rather than just do one at a time and wait each time, what we'll do is do the same thing all over again, except starting off with the screenshot. So I'm probably going to spread the blue ones out into this area over here, and then these guys I'm going to spread sort of in front of them. Then we can take some screenshots, start counting their numbers and breeding them. So it's going to get easier and easier as you go along, because you get more and more space to work with, which is really good. But there you go, that's the first one successful. I did remember to put the glass in. Now we just got to clean it up a little bit, and there they are grouping up at the top. Oh, help me, I'm being consumed by sheep. This looks so weird. Oh my days. Okay, let's get back to it. So that last clip that we recorded, I talked about, I was curious to see how long it took me to do that. Endermite! Oh, he's on the inside. Okay, fair enough. And it took just 8 minutes. Now, the first time I did this, it felt like it took about 40 minutes to do one of these. And I think it's just one of those things, you get used to doing it, you get better at doing it as well, and then it just goes by a little bit quicker. But it's been pretty breezy putting this half over here. We've done 4 of them so far. We've got another 4 to do. As you can see, I've got purple, we've got brown and green and lime, and all of those have been bred up to 56 each, so we are just ready to put them in there. Now, I was thinking of doing a little bit of time-lapse of this, you know, put the camera account in the sky, you could see me luring all of the sheep over into this area, but I decided against it. You see, I wanted to do something special, but then I figured that you'd spend most of your time in this little area nudging the sheep into the water, so it probably wouldn't look too good from a time-lapse perspective. But that's it, we've just got 4 to do, so I'm not going to do a little recording of this. We're just going to get it done, and then we'll be able to unleash the sheep from the top up there like we did on that side. So we'll be doing that in a moment, and then after that the thing is ready to use, and we'll probably do an AFK test. Maybe I'll AFK here for an hour and we'll be able to see just how much wool we get, which is something that Tango suggested I do. It wasn't on my list of things to do. He was over here a minute ago picking up a beacon, and yeah, he suggested that we do a test. So I think that's a really good idea, and that's our objective now for this episode, is to get all of these guys in there and then to do a test and find out how much wool we're actually going to get. There we go, it's done, and you know me, I like my time lapses, and we've got some clearing up to do. Look at all of this mess that we have left behind. That's right, we're going to do a little bit of a time lapse of me clearing this up. It might not be the most exciting thing, so I'll probably just record that and see how it goes, but maybe it won't actually be worth putting into a little time-lapse. Whatever, we'll give it a try. I'll do some recording, and if we go over here, you can see now that the sheep have kind of filled themselves out. I noticed that when you look at it from a distance, you can kind of see the sheep on every layer of the farm, and if we go over to the side here, we're probably going to get the best view from right here. Look at that, loads of yellow sheep. It does look like they get clustered on the bottom a lot more than they do on the other layers, and I think the reason for that is that their pathfinding's slightly different down here. I noticed that they're less reluctant to go to the ladder over on the other side, and I think we might be able to correct that by modifying the grass here. I think if it comes out a couple of blocks further, it might help, but probably not. I don't know. Something's a little bit different, but anyway, it works. We're going to do our test soon, but as I said, we might be doing a time lapse. I'm going to record me clearing up this area and see how it goes. Alright, so things are going well because this area has been cleaned up, as you can see. And I've also done the AFK test over here. Now there is something I need to point out. I made a little bit of a mistake. If you have a look at all the droppers here, they're facing in the wrong direction, which is a little bit of a problem because it means we've got to block them up at the top, wait for the sheep to get out of the water and then replace it. But it isn't too difficult. I'll be doing the rest of those in between episodes, but I did it for this one because we did our test. And this thing works as intended. The little dispenser system with the shears here is absolutely fine, nothing wrong with the redstone. And I did a test for about an hour and 5 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter than that. And this is what we got. So I'd say we're looking at around 13 to 14 stacks of wool per hour of AFK-ness over here, which is fantastic. That is a ridiculous amount. And if you need to come over here and get a few stacks of different colours, it's going to take not too much time at all, which is awesome. So the sheep farm has been a success. Now we're going to be looking at doing the aesthetics, and that is it for this episode. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. Your support is always appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.